Hello, everyone. Welcome to the webinar today that we are hosting together with Dictate Australia. Our topic for today is keeping up with the future of dictation. So we just like to welcome everyone. Good morning to people in WA and South Australia, and good afternoon to the rest of our attendees from Australia, from the other parts of Australia. Okay, just to give you a brief insight on what we're going to be covering for you today, we have itemized four topics. One is how COVID changed the way we work, and then cloud dictation adoption in Australia. Give you a snippet of how cloud technology is being taken up by the market, and then achieving better productivity with new dictation technology. So that's going to be our main highlight for this session. And towards the end, we do have an exclusive offer to all of you attending the webinar today. Okay, so let me just introduce my co-host. I am Homer Usaris from Philips Dictation, and my co-host for today is Dave Holmes from Dictate Australia. Dave, how about a few welcoming words for our guests?
Yeah, thanks, Homer, and hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on the webinar today, and especially because these are the email list that went out was specifically to my customers that I've built over the years. So hopefully I would have spoken to some of you at some point via email or phone at some point. But primarily, Dictate Australia has been in business for around 15 years now. And we're kind of really passionate about dictation, and me personally, I'm very passionate about technology. So primarily I've been selling the Olympus products during that time, but what I started to notice recently is the innovation that Philips have really been putting into the dictation world. That on top of some recent issues with the Olympus Dictation app, where there was some pretty major outages up to a couple of weeks at some point, that had both me and my customers looking for alternative solutions. And then Homer and the team at Philips in Australia kind of stepped up, and we're proud to be a Philips partner now.
Okay, thanks so much, Dave. Okay, let me just start off with this sort of meme that was circulating around March, April during this time. This was, not an official survey. Somebody did this meme, and who actually led the digital transformation in companies. Is it the CEO? Is it the CTO? It turns out it was COVID-19. So, just to paraphrase an old cliche, necessity is the impetus for adapting new technology. And speaking personally for Philips, we saw a huge deluge of migration to newer dictation solution during the first lockdown around mid-March this year. So, CTOs, IT managers, practice managers really decided quickly to jump on board new dictation technology to cope with the unprecedented challenge that we have encountered with this health crisis. So, what has changed with this COVID situation that happened this year? I think there are three pretty obvious things that happened and that changed the way we work. About 88% of companies have now encouraged their people to actually work from home. So we have a lot of telecommuting and really need to be productive at home. And then we also saw a surge of online collaboration and meeting tools such as Zoom or Teams or Skype that really changed the way we interact with both our work colleagues and as well as our internal and external clients. So we had to use newer technologies to conduct business. And I think the most challenging or quite unfortunate of all is the restriction on travel. We used to go travel interstate to deliver, high impact meetings, close deals interstate, and that has truly been affected by the COVID situation. And there are really significant life-changing challenges that were faced by organizations, whether they're a medical practice or law firms or financial advisory firms that need to be addressed. I think the first common challenge is how do we replicate the processes in a work from home environment. um, I think the convenience of working in close proximity with our work colleagues has been abruptly interrupted. In most practices, whether it's medical or a law firm, you have a solicitor just handing over a dictaphone to the typing pool, and they just download dictations, and away they go with their transcription jobs. When COVID hit, I particularly remember the situation. It's a barrister's chambers in Canberra, where the assistant would go to the house of the barrister, collect the dictaphone so she can dock it on her transcription software in the office. So she's the only one working the office, but she has to do that, 3, 4 times a week to collect the dictaphone. So that's a really crude way of how to do it, but people have
Yeah,
to cope
I mean,
with their jobs.
that's a really good story, and I think that's a fairly familiar one too. One of the things that we noticed at Dictate when COVID hit was we just got inundated with software licensing questions, mainly. How can we move software from one machine to another? And like it can be fairly complex, but luckily I think the Philips system, as you'll explain, will make that a lot easier.
Okay, I think you just made a good segue there, Dave, on licensing issue. I mean, how do you access work resources remotely from home? So do you set up your remote access server, uninstall software from the office, reinstall in the at-home computer? And then the other challenge, okay, yeah, everything works on Windows in the office, but guess what, guys? I'm using a Mac at home, so how do we do this? So that's another headache that had to be dealt with when the lockdown announcement came. And then the other crucial thing is how soon can we transition, and how much will it cost the firm to actually switch from a work from home environment. So it's not only the downtime, but the unprogrammed cost that came with it, uh, which also a big challenge faced by both business owners, practice managers, and even the IT staff.
Yeah,
And
I think that's a big one, the IT staff, because it's not just a case of great, my staff are working from home now. Here you go, here's a license, go and install some software. There's a load of complexities around that software where you install it. How do you hook it up to a VPN? How do you hook it up to your email? So I think that the traditional installing software on a computer is fastly becoming expensive in terms of time and IT costs and licensing.
well, most definitely, Dave. That's why all that could have been avoided, or those challenges can easily be solved by actually adopting a cloud-based, services, and running your productivity tools on a cloud platform. So, what cloud is? It's actually just a means of accessing data and applications over a secure internet platform instead of running it from your hard drive. So it's a fairly easy concept, but in Australia, we still have a long way to go to actually move enterprises onto cloud. At the moment, as of survey done by Deloitte, as of 2018-2019, they found out that about 42% of enterprises in Australia are running a cloud-based access of resources, whether you're running Office 365 or your Leap or your Genie Medical Practice. We still have a long way to go to actually mature the market onto the cloud platform. And just to share with you a fun fact, maybe some of you are wondering what's the adoption of mobile dictation technology in Australia. As far as mobile dictation technology is concerned, Australia is actually a leader globally. adopting mobile dictation. So there are far more users in Australia than the whole of Southwest Europe combined. And Southwest Europe is comprised by these 5 countries. So they have about 150 million people in that part of Europe, and there's less than 30 million in Australia, New Zealand. But we have more people doing mobile dictation. So, I mean, as far as cloud is concerned, not so much, 42%. But when you talk about mobile dictation, we're a leader, an early adapter of that technology, which now brings me to the highlight of today's session. How do we improve productivity with new dictation technology? And Dave is kind enough to actually prepare a demo for you. So let me just click on this recorded demo.
In this video, I'm going to show you how you can dictate from anywhere using any Windows or Mac computer and use Philips SpeechLive for your dictation and transcription workflow. So let's start with a physical dictaphone. I happen to be using an Olympus DS9500, but you can dictate into any physical dictaphone, Philips, Grundig, Sony, Olympus, it really doesn't matter. And on the plus side, you don't need to install any supporting software for that device. So no more upgrading to the right version at a cost, no more IT support called in to set it all up for you at a cost, and no more software licenses to buy if you want to use your dictaphone on another computer, also at a cost. Just think of a physical digital dictaphone as a big USB stick with a microphone. I've already recorded a dictation onto my Olympus dictaphone, so when I dock it, the free Philips Uploader client will kick in, collect my dictation and send it to Philips SpeechLive for me, ready for my typist or typing pool to collect, or ready for me to send to speech recognition to have it converted to text for me. So let's see that in action. I dock my DS9500, the Uploader client kicks in, finds the audio on my recorder, sends it to SpeechLive, removes it from the dictaphone, and there we see the audio ready to be processed in SpeechLive. So we can already see that the status is transcription pending. My transcription typist with their SpeechLive login will be notified that there's new dictation, and when transcription starts or is finished, the status of the dictation will be updated. I can also play that dictation within SpeechLive, so I can have a listen to it. Here is some digital dictation that I have recorded on my Olympus DS9500. When docked, it was uploaded automatically for me to Philips SpeechLive using the free Philips SpeechLive upload client. Dictation is now ready to be transcribed by my typist or my typing pool, or I could send the dictation to speech recognition and have it converted to text for me. I can change the priority status to flag it as urgent, and I can even send the dictation off to speech recognition and have it converted to text for me. So just using my typist or my transcription team to proofread the output from that. Handy if the dictation is urgent. Now let me show you dictation on my smartphone. I have an iPhone, but Philips have a dictation app for SpeechLive on both iOS and Android. Having the dictation app on my phone, which like most people I carry everywhere with me, means I can dictate from anywhere at any time. This increases productivity and helps enable the truly flexible workplace that we're all getting used to as our new normal. Hello, here is a sample dictation recorded on my Apple iPhone using the Philips SpeechLive app. I can dictate at any time from anywhere convenient for me, providing me with a flexible work solution. Within seconds, the audio is available in the Philips SpeechLive portal, ready to be processed, again by my typist or to be sent to automated speech recognition. Also, with the new Philips SpeechLive app, I can also add images along with my dictation audio files. I know this is useful for surgeons and also many in the real estate business, but may also be useful for you if you need to embed images in with your letters or notes. Finally, let me show you dictation directly into the Philips SpeechLive cloud. In this example, I'm going to be using a Philips Speech One wireless headset and microphone, but you could use the microphone built into your computer or any USB connected microphone. All I need to do is tap the record button and start my dictation. Here is an example of direct dictation via a web browser on any Windows or Mac computer. I can create a dictation audio file ready to be transcribed by my typing team, just as I would via the SpeechLive app on my smartphone, or if I was using any physical digital dictaphone. So just like a dictation, I can continue recording or insert overlay audio. When the dictation is complete, I can finish it. And that becomes instantly available for my transcription typist to transcribe, just like any of the audio files that appear in SpeechLive, whether it's come from my iPhone, my dictaphone, or directly dictated. The audio files can also be easily downloaded. I can assign a priority status to them, so my typing team knows which ones to start first. I can send the audio to speech recognition, so I can utilize Philips' automated voice-to-text service to convert the audio to text for me. This is really handy if your dictation is urgent and gets a lot of the legwork done for the typist before they just need to proofread. I can also assign picture attachments to any of the dictations, just like I showed you on the SpeechLive app. And at any time I can change the dictation properties and add some extra information to the dictation. Finally, let me just show you a new thing that's in beta with Philips SpeechLive, which is speech to text. So this is real-time voice to text, as opposed to record an audio file and send it to speech recognition. This is going to do voice to text in real time via any web browser connected to Philips SpeechLive. So let me show you that in action. Hello world, new paragraph. Here is an example of real-time voice-to-text from direct dictation into Philips SpeechLive via a web browser, full stop, new paragraph. With Philips SpeechLive, you can dictate and transcribe from anywhere, all via a browser, exclamation mark. So there you go, quick and easy automated voice-to-text in a web browser, Mac or Windows. And just like all my other dictations, that file is available. It's been transcribed. I can download the attachments and the audio, and so can my typist.
Thank you so much, Dave, for that wonderful demonstration that you have prepared for our session today. So with that, let's try to recap the productivity gains that we have seen from a new dictation technologies, such as what Dave has mentioned. So for Philips, the way we try to address this particular need in the market is to actually develop our SpeechLive mobile cloud dictation service. And starting in 2018, we do have our Australia hosted service for SpeechLive. So we keep your dictation traffic in country. We don't send it to an overseas server. And just to let you know, as far as security and privacy is concerned, SpeechLab has been cleared by the IT security teams of Queensland Health and just recently from Ramsay Health. So it's secure and private solution that our customers can avail of. So what does this solution provide for our users? Well, number one, it's now location and time independent. With the Philips Voice Recorder app or the SpeechLive app, there's no more coming to the office to hand over your dictaphone or your tape. No need to start up your laptop and connect it to the Wi-Fi just to be able to email dictations when you're not working in the office. Obviously, there's no more backlog of dictations. People don't need to wait till late afternoon to receive your dictations and start working on your dictations the next day. It can be sent in real time. And then calls to your PA is also eliminated just to find out what the status is of your dictation. You can check the status of all your dictations straight off the app. I think, and next biggest benefit is you can run a virtual office with the Philips Speech Live, and regardless whether you're running Windows or Mac PCs. So there's no complicated configuration, especially valuable for law firms or medical practices that are running different locations. There are cases where one location are understaffed and you need to reallocate the work um to that particular location. So it has to be an IT task again to remap network folders on your workload to be able to juggle the workload. That's completely eliminated with using Philips Speech Live. There's no more manual moving of dictations. We've heard stories of people uploading manually dictations to a particular network folder from their dictaphones, and people have to access dictation jobs from that folder. Sometimes their work is impacted if they have, network issues, and that folder become unavailable, and people are sitting around not able to do stuff with the folder unavailability. Again, as mentioned, we eliminate workload uh, overload in a certain location. You can easily distribute work across the organization, and we also eliminate some additional investment on running a work from home access for your staff.
Sorry, I'm
Equal
just going to say, I think it's just worth noting there the like the virtual office setup. There's like I didn't show it in my video because I was focusing more on the dictation side, but behind the scenes, if you're an office or practice manager, just bringing on extra typists into a typing pool is really easy. There's a linkage in the Speech Live portal that lets you link authors to typists. So if you've got a typist off for the day, you can easily send typing across to another typist in your pool just by mapping the relationships across there.
Oh, thanks for pointing at that, Dave. Exactly. It all can be done by a browser. You don't need to have your, outsourced IT staff or your IT manager to work out the workflow relationships. You can designate one power user, one senior typist, or the office manager, the practice manager, to do those reconfiguration for you at a click of a mouse. So there's no, IT specialist, IT skills involved in doing that. Thanks, Dave. And then with the Philips Speech Live, you are always updated. No more, mixed versions of software running within the company. Um, you're all in one single platform with a common version. No more compatibility issues. At the moment, we have this version, that version, working, not working with the latest update from Windows 10. Um, it's a non-issue anymore with Philips Speech Live.
Yeah, and we've just seen Mac OS 11 come out as well. So there's new versions of Mac always coming too. And this is probably one of the biggest calls that we get into the Dictate office is I've got an old version of the software, how do I upgrade? And inevitably there's, the old method of installing stuff, there's always a cost involved. At least with Speech Live, you've constantly got the latest version. It's upgraded for you.
Exactly. And I think last but not the least, with the current economic situation, everyone is quite mindful of operational and capex expenses. With Philips Speech Live, as Dave has demonstrated, whatever digital dictation device at the moment that can be integrated with the Philips Speech Live system. We do have fixed pricing, and you just pay for the actual number of users that you need. You can add, subtract, reassign existing user licenses, so you really make full use of your current investment allocated for the certain year. And another important thing is that we eliminate bill shock for upgrade fees. There are providers out there that will every time they do an upgrade on their system, It's not included in the fixed subscription, so they'll send you a nice separate bill for upgrading their own service. With the Speech Live model, your subscription includes whatever updates we do on the platform. And I think we're happy to share with you just a word that we have gotten from our users. First, from Philip McIntosh, who's the CEO of Cummins Hendricks. They used to be with another provider before they switched to SpeechLive, obviously. And their main challenge is they have about 6 or 7 locations in the riverine area, and every time somebody goes on maternity leave, extended holiday in one location, they really are tearing their hair out on how to redistribute work on different locations. And we spoke to them. This is the solution for you. Move to SpeechLive. We eliminate all that problem, and they have operations have quieted down since they've moved to SpeechLive. When COVID hit in March, we never heard from them. They're all ready, for COVID when the disaster struck. And I'll let Dave. We're now coming towards the end of our session, and I'll have Dave announce a special offer for the webinar attendees.
Yeah, thanks, Homer. So look, I'm not a big fan of like doing a hard sell and trying to force people to move across to things. But like if you've spoken to me in the past, you'll know that we're pretty helpful at Dictate with all kinds of advice. Which we're just putting it out there that if you're looking to if some of these things resonate with you, the cost of IT, the cost of software, the paying with the licensing, if you're trying to make things a little bit easier and simpler within your setup, doesn't matter whether you're like a small practice, a single user, or a large practice, then we're here to help you. So the people at Homer at Philips have reached out and have kind of helped us. If you're interested in moving across and giving SpeechLive a try, there is a 30-day trial that we can get you set up on. Then there's going to be nothing to pay until next financial year. So you can pretty much give it a good go for the next 6 months and just see how it fits in with you.
Thanks, Dave. One quick question from the panel, which I think we have time to answer quickly. Question is the speech to text function also keeping the data or the recording within Australia? Absolutely, yes. It's stored in the Australian server.
Yeah, this one comes up a lot actually, and I know because I work with a few kind of local government, federal government type customers, and it is a big thing. This is confidential dictation, and there's the checks and balances are in place to ensure that the data is encrypted from end to end at rest, etc. But the biggest thing is really not letting that audio leave the country. So I think Homer mentioned back in 2018, Philips were already on the ball and getting a data center in use in Australia. So for sure that data stays within country.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Yep, and I think you can find the demonstration that Dave prepared in his own website. Just click on the why move to SpeechLive button, and you can watch that demonstration on demand.
Excellent. Thanks, Homer. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Really appreciate it. And please feel free to just give me a call or email. I'm happy to chat about any of this.
Okay, and with that, we're happy to conclude the session for you. I can see that there are more questions coming up on the question panel. Please contact Dave. His contact details are flashed on the screen. And not to worry, this session is recorded. We will send you a summary of the link to the recording after this session. And with that, in behalf of Dave, we'd like to wish everyone an enjoyable weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Homer.